During the national salute to hospitalized veterans, Chuck Norris reminded the world that strength is not measured by medals or fame, but by the quiet, steadfast courage that carries people through life's most challenging moments. At 85, he is widely recognized for his films and martial arts prowess. Yet his story begins long before Hollywood lights, before the cameras, before the accolades. It is a story of resilience, discipline, and perseverance. A story of a man who learned to rise even when circumstances seemed determined to hold him down. A childhood in Oklahoma. Carlos Ray Norris, the boy who would one day become Chuck, was born in Ryan, Oklahoma, a small town whose quiet streets hid the complexities of family life. Growing up, he experienced challenges that shaped his character: scarcity, tension, and a constant need to adapt. His father, Ray Norris, had served in the military and carried himself with dignity, but the weight of life's struggles sometimes found their way into the home. Chuck's early years were marked by a need to observe, understand, and navigate the world quietly, cultivating a resilience that would become the foundation for his future. The guiding light of a mother. Amid uncertainty, Chuck found strength in his mother, Wilma. Her unwavering dedication, faith, and care became the anchor that held the family together. She worked tirelessly, often sacrificing her own comfort to provide food, warmth, and a sense of security for her children. From her example, Chuck learned the value of endurance, responsibility, and empathy. By the time he was a teenager, a quiet determination had taken root in him, a resolve to rise above circumstance and build a life defined by discipline, courage, and integrity. A move toward freedom. At 16, Wilma made a bold decision to move the family to California, seeking a fresh start and the chance to escape the limitations of their old life. For Chuck, it was transformative. Though the past remained part of him, it became a source of quiet strength rather than limitation. The move marked the beginning of a new chapter, one in which he would discover his potential and test the limits of his own endurance. It was a time to cultivate independence, explore new horizons, and develop the discipline that would carry him through life's inevitable challenges. Discipline in the Air Force. At 18, Chuck joined the Air Force, seeking structure and purpose. The military gave him a framework where focus, routine, and discipline could transform past chaos into stability. Far from home, he immersed himself in training that would challenge both body and mind. It was during this time, stationed in South Korea, that he discovered martial arts. Initially, the journey was difficult, the techniques demanding, the progress slow. But Chuck persisted. Each fall, each misstep, each hour spent practicing became a lesson in patience, endurance, and self-mastery. Martial arts became not just a skill, but a way to channel determination, focus, and resilience into tangible results. Returning home and building a future. After leaving the Air Force in 1962, Chuck returned to California, carrying more than technical skill. He carried confidence, discipline, and a sense of purpose. He opened a small karate school, often teaching to empty rooms, yet showing up each day with commitment and integrity. Slowly, students began to arrive, drawn to his skill, but even more to his unwavering dedication and the values he lived by. Martial arts competitions soon followed, becoming a stage not just for physical ability but for measuring character, resilience, and persistence. Through these trials, Chuck evolved from a reserved young man into a disciplined, confident competitor. A champion emerges. By 1967, Chuck had established himself as a formidable martial artist, winning his first major title and holding the professional middleweight karate championship for 6 consecutive years. His recognition came not from showmanship, but from dedication and quiet perseverance. Medals and trophies marked milestones, but the real achievement was the mastery of self. The transformation from a boy shaped by challenge into a man who could face the world with skill, focus, and integrity. His journey from uncertainty to discipline became the foundation for the public and private successes that followed. Entering Hollywood. In 1972, Chuck took a major step into film, starring opposite Bruce Lee in The Way of the Dragon. The encounter was a fusion of preparation, courage, and mutual respect. showcasing that mastery of one's craft comes from discipline and consistency, not just talent. Hollywood was a new kind of challenge. Doors closed for reasons beyond skill, fame, or effort. Yet each rejection fueled Chuck's perseverance, reinforcing the principle that success is earned through consistent dedication rather than immediate recognition. Recognition and film success. In 1978, Chuck's breakout film Good Guys Wear Black launched his cinematic career. Throughout the 1980s, movies like The Octagon, Lone Wolf McQuade, Missing in Action, Code of Silence, and The Delta Force solidified his place as a martial arts icon. Fans admired him not only for physical skill but for the values he embodied: loyalty, discipline, integrity, and courage. Behind the camera, however, life continued to test him. Personal losses, family responsibilities, and the pressure of fame required a resilience as important as any martial art or cinematic fight scene. Personal growth and family loss and responsibility were part of Chuck's journey. His younger brother's passing during the Vietnam War left a quiet imprint on his heart, a reminder of the fragility of life. Relationships brought both joy and challenge, from his first marriage to Diane Holchek to later discovering a daughter he had not known, which taught lessons in patience, forgiveness, and the value of connection. In 1998, his marriage to Gina O'Kelly brought stability and warmth. Together, they built a home filled with laughter, love, and purpose, welcoming twins Dakota and Dan Lee in 2001. Life shifted from public achievement to private fulfillment as Chuck devoted himself to nurturing his family. Trials and devotion. Life's challenges never stopped, but Chuck's response remained unwavering. In 2013, a medical crisis involving Gina tested his resilience once again. He devoted himself fully to her care, navigating uncertainty with calm and determination. This was a form of strength that went beyond martial arts or cinematic heroics. It was the quiet courage of commitment, loyalty, and love. It was a reminder that the most important battles are often fought in ordinary moments, with care, attention, and persistence. Strength. Defined. Chuck Norris's life teaches that true strength is not about fame, accolades, or physical prowess alone. It is about resilience, patience, and the capacity to endure life's difficulties while remaining committed to others. From a small Oklahoma home to the bright lights of Hollywood and quiet moments on his Texas ranch, Chuck has demonstrated that courage is cultivated through adversity, discipline, and the consistent practice of one's values. His legacy extends beyond films, championships, and public recognition. It resides in the lives he has touched, the students he has taught, and the example he has set. Reflection and inspiration. Chuck's story is more than a biography. It is a testament to the human spirit. It reminds us that childhood challenges, personal loss, and setbacks are not limitations. They are the crucibles that shape endurance, character, and perspective. Through martial arts, family, and personal growth, he has modeled the power of perseverance, patience, and love. Behind the action, hero persona, lies a man who faced life's trials with quiet determination and emerged not just successful, but profoundly human. A life well lived from Ryan, Oklahoma, to the stages of Hollywood and the quiet halls of his family home. Chuck Norris exemplifies a life of integrity, devotion, and courage. He shows that heroism is measured not by public acclaim, but by the daily, persistent choice to rise, care, and endure. Every challenge he faced, from childhood struggles to personal trials, shaped a man whose strength lies in resilience, love, and the quiet but unbreakable power of the human spirit. Chuck Norris reminds us that true achievement is measured not by what we conquer outwardly, but by what we nurture, protect, and grow within.